Gentlemen, you've tuned into Playing in Traffic, Lewis Lee's own creation, and you got the regular cast of characters: Ray Guarino, Motormouth Radio, Chassis John down in Floridia, and of course, Brian Bossone from Pink's All Out.
What's up, guys?
Pleasure to be here.
Buddy.
Hanging out.
Pleasure to see you all.
So me and Brian were down at Nelson's car show a couple weeks ago, and we had a good time around the pool. We sat around the pool and relaxed and ate wings together, broke bread. So Brian, tell us what's going on with you with your thing.
Okay, so Lewis knew a couple of weeks ago, because obviously when I was drinking the booze, I let the cat out of the bag of what's been going on. So we've had a really quiet year on All Out, because between COVID and crap and different things and track issues and stuff, and we've been kind of laying back and laying lean and low, because there's a lot of things that's been going on in the works for the last about 2 to 3 months. And it will change the direction of where we go with All Out Live and all of the existing programming and everything we do, because it's going to be a big change. And it's something that we've been working on now for 7 years now. One of the biggest things we were doing since day one is trying to get, we had a contract with Fox Television when we went off the air back in 2010 from there. And we worked a contract out, Rich and I, for about 5 years with Fox Television to do Pink's All Outs. If you look behind me up there, that's still Pink's All Out stuff. But the contract was so restricting that we'd have to give them episodes. We didn't have any international rights, because actually Speed, which is now Fox Racing, is on internationally in Canada, the Caribbean, and a couple other places. And the contract that Rich was able to put together restricted any of that. We also had to give them a percentage of budget and per episode, which, it's tight enough to do these things without monster sponsorships and the money that's being put forth. So we did 2015 or 2016, we did that Pink's All Out, Rockingham. We were able to get it on the Outdoor Channel. 70% increase in numbers. They wanted to go with it, and then said, we need international. And from that point, it's just been a struggle with Fox, and negotiations went on for many years. A lot of money figures being thrown around. About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I stopped. Our contract was up, and it was just not worth. It was just difficult dealing with any of the contracts. They're lawyers, Rupert Murdoch's people. I mean, look, they got billions of dollars. We're small potatoes. Even the numbers they were talking is still small, small money to them. And unless they were getting content, they wouldn't get rid of it. And what I mean by rights is, I mean trademarks, old episodes, any URLs, everything that was associated with Pink's or Pink's All Out, they completely owned. That when they took it off the air, it all went on the shelf, and it's been sitting there. And it has been playing in the Caribbean and stuff. They've been actually airing Pink's and Pink's All Out in Canada, the Caribbean, for almost 10 years now, the old stuff.
Wow.
And I got approached by about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I got approached by a network. I won't say anything right now, but it's big enough to make a huge difference to try to do this again. And they said, we're in the streaming deal now, between our network and stuff. We put a couple older shows back on, and we always hear people talking about Pink's, and we know you're the man. And that was my goal, to keep it alive all this time, so that I would get this phone call one day from a major network. And they said, what's the deal with it? It's got it. I had to explain exactly what I just told you to them. And they said, well, we'd be willing to go with you and go after Fox to achieve the rights and everything that goes along with it. And of course, I knew if they did that, then I'd be flushed out in a toilet bowl. So I reached back out myself. We got off the meeting, and I turned around, reached back out to Fox, and they were all gone. Fox Sports, everything. Disney took over, and everybody I dealt with was gone. So I was kind of spazzing out. Yeah, I was spazzing out. I'm like, okay, so here's all my connections. All these years are all gone. And I went into panic mode, because I think that, this network's going to go around my back. And then next thing you know, after all the years we put together, they're going to go scoop up the brand, because they've got the money and the lawyers to do it. But I was able to go through all my connections and linked and find one person that was still there. It was actually the person that we'd upload our episodes to. And she put me in touch with the right person. And I would say that all the years' work and everything, and all the time I spent doing this, all came to fruition at one time. And I guess it was more about timing. They called,
Right.
I got in touch with the right person, and in 6 weeks I got the deal done.
Wow, isn't that great?
Officially, I own Pink's All Out, Pink's All Outtakes, and I scooped into the deal Pastime and Drag Race High. I own
Nice.
I own all the titles that Rich Christensen made for Speed, Bossone Media, and personally I own everything. I have all the episodes. I own the trademarks. I own the URLs. I own everything, which enables us now to put all the old, like we were talking earlier, put all the old episodes back on air again, put them on YouTube, wherever people could watch them. I actually have them right here. I mean, Alex, my partner, is downloading the rest of them in the hard drive. I'll have probably, I think 148 episodes of Pastime. I think the total was almost 400 episodes of TV that I own now. Transferring over right now the trademarks. So the Pink's All Out and Pink's trademark and Pastime, it's all mine. So we're working with, like I said, it's contractual right now. I can't speak about networks. There's a lot of things going on. It's going to take a lot to do it, but it's a very good possibility that you'll be able to see new episodes of some of these titles on the major network. And Lewis, you're the first one to let anybody let this out the cat of the bag. But to me, one of the greatest shows ever made was Pink's Lose the Race, Lose Your Ride. I talked to Rich. Rich is all in. Matter of fact, I got off the phone with Rich earlier. And to do proof of concept for this network, we've decided to take our October event at Gulfport Dragway during Cruising the Coast, and we're going to turn it into an original Pink's All Out with some new twists and turns like we did with All Out, with Rich Christensen dropping his arms, giving away a ton of money on October when it's coming up here. I think it's the 7th and 8th.
Nice.
Sweet.
Cool.
It'll be the only one we do this year. It'll be filmed. It'll be put into a pilot format. It'll be handed to them. It might, it's a very possible they'll use that, or we'll break it down for marketing. But if people come out to that, they're definitely going to get their, first of all, they're going to be the first ones back in 8 years to be able to arm drop by Rich Christensen and be involved with something like this. So, it's always been our goal, and that's what I've done for many years. Is after I knew what Pink's All Out did for the grassroots racing community. And that's been my goal. You could go Top Sports and Racing. You could do all this pro mod. You could do whatever, Street Outlaws. You got a very few fine people with a ton of money that you make stars out of. And we want to make stars out of 500 racers every single time we go out there and, crown a champion and put them on the stage so all their buddies and friends can see. Not John Force, not anybody else, just the grassroots racer. And that's what we're going to do again. So I look forward to taking on the helm of this and working again with everybody involved. And it's going to be fun. I mean, this is what I live for. I mean, I was involved with, like I was saying earlier to everybody else before we got on there, I was there for the first ever Pink's Lose the Race, Lose Your Ride. Let's say that was filmed in Orlando before the original pilot stuff. And I stayed with that all the way till today. That's 2004. That's how much involvement I own in interest. So if anybody was to own this shit, it should be me.
Yeah.
I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars keeping this brand alive to make sure that the grassroots racer would have their home again, which they deserve.
Do me a favor. Keep Rich away from motorcycles.
Yeah, that's the first thing I'm going to do is put him on a motorcycle. Good ratings.
And if he still has that 6-wheel Hummer, tell him to leave that home too.
Yeah, he doesn't have that anymore. He walks everywhere.
That wasn't even his motorcycle.
No. Do you know
was that a Hayabusa he was on, Lewis? I forget. I
think it was an R or a Boost. Either way,
it's a while ago.
Yeah,
it was a long time ago.
He rode motorcycles, but nothing that crazy. Now, Cale, his cousin, he races through the mountains through Colorado and Utah. So, and I remember him saying, "Don't go crazy. This is not your bike."
Yeah, don't drop the clutch and hammer
it. Just a little blip, and boom. Now he finished that show. He broke his collarbone, and he broke 2 ribs, and he finished that show and got that done. Not many people know about that, but he messed stuff up pretty good. But that is the world famous. If you look at YouTube, the most hits is the motorcycle stuff. The first thing they say is what? Don't let Rich on a motorcycle. So maybe the first thing we'll do is do a Pink's All Out motorcycle edition, right?
Oh God,
man! I tell you, them bikes to get away from me quick.
That'd be pretty cool, though. Because now, if you do something with bikes, you're pulling in a whole nother group.
Bring back Elmer Trett.
In 2015, we actually played around because when we had the rights, we wanted to try some different things. So we did a week, a Pink All Out week. We started on Tuesday and we ran all the way through Sunday. It rained 3 of the damn days. But in that time, though, and I have it right here on my desktop, we actually did a Pink All Out with motorcycles. We did a junior dragster little thing with the kids.
Sure.
We did the four-wheelers. And, of course, we did our regular Pink All Out in 3 separate classes. And that's what we're doing. We're going to move moving forward. We're not going to do one class. We're going to do multiple classes at each event and hand out
very cool
multiple prizes, more money, more chances. And we're not going to do – it's really been kind of working on this now for a few weeks – is that we're not going to do where everybody just goes out there and runs and we choose 16, everybody else goes home. Everybody always end up trying to dial their car to an index or a number they thought that we were going to pick.
That was the difficult part.
Well, why not pick it for them? So we're going to do index racing. So what we're going to do is we'll find out, like I called up Gulfport. They do a 6.0, a 7.0, or excuse me, is it a 6.07? I got to look at my thing. What we'll do is we'll take what they normally index race at the track. We'll use that as a number. And we're going to let people win their way into the final 16 and then go from there. And then we do a complete hot lap, which means every single pass they have to come back around. They have a cool down area with pit crew, 3 minutes cool down like been doing all out for the past few years, and everything's arm drop. So Rich, the problem is if you do a bracket race, what's Rich going to go one arm, wait 1, 2, 3, and then drop the you can't do that.
No, it got to be heads up.
Yeah, so we're going to do heads up, and we'll do an index style deal in some pretty fast classes, but we want to get as many people out there as possible, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be
that was the part of the show that was probably the most complicated, were those scenes up in the tower where you guys were keeping a log on who was doing what and how you were picking who's going to go here and who's going to go there, and that was a it was an important part of the show, but it got complicated at times.
Yeah. That was my deal. Matter of fact, I created a program when Nate left with Harry Fair with live timing that would compile all of the ETs. People didn't know about this, but it's called live timing, and it's still around. And people use it for bracket racing, and tracks use it from there. But there's a certain section if you go into the mainframe, or let's say into the main programming of live timing, and it's got buttons you could choose, which we set up and worked on for a long time. You could choose your ET. You could choose quickest, fastest, closest, and fast mile per hour. And what it does is, as it comes out of CompuLink, we tapped into the board, or we could pull it out of the actual time slip deal, and it changes he's got an algorithm that changes those numbers and puts it into this program and puts in, because remember, CompuLink's like a DOS, puts it into almost like a word-based deal and compiles everything together. And let's say we ran 500 cars, we ran four rounds. You got 2,000 rounds. I could hit one button. Let's say I want to go 10.0 to 10.99, closest 16. Click button, 1 second, it's done. Nice. It'll show you exactly. Now the only problem from there was you have to verify all that, which was good. Then we created more parts in the program so we could go into the racer and look at their stuff to see if they're sandbagging.
Right.
So let's say they were qualifying times, and all of a sudden they're like 9:90, all of a sudden we're 10:50, 10:47. Like, so this guy's playing around, So we'd actually eliminate it. But it took it, like Nate and those guys would write on a piece of paper. They would actually take a log and they put it into an Excel spreadsheet every single round and do it. And then it would take them an hour and a half, 2 hours. Once I got the program done, it would take 20, 30 minutes. It was actually under a crunch that they were asking me to get some of those shows ready from when time we finished racing in less than 22 minutes to pick the groups. And that was tough, but we got it done. Yeah. And of course, it's just TV magic mixed in with everything else. It was just it was a lot of things going on, but I tell you, some of the best times I had in my life was filming Pinks and Pinks All Out and being involved with everybody. The main thing, number one, was with the racers. It was basically a large party with some drag racing going on. And that's really what the appeal was. Like-minded people doing the same thing, having a good time. They didn't care if they won, lost, whatever. I mean, George Rubistello and Ralph Miola, those guys met out there in a couple of different ones. They're still friends to this day. You know what I mean? They come out to our events. It's just fun.
So tell us a little bit about Sam's episode.
Oh, it's funny. I found Sam's episode and all the episodes I downloaded from there. So Sam was out in Steele, Alabama, if I'm not mistaken. I was out there, and the original guy he was supposed to race was I do believe, and this is a pretty good memory here, but like a 94, 95 Mustang that had a carbureted motor in it. And the guy that showed up was real arrogant about it there. Oh, look, there's Sam's
Speaking
tapping right now.
of the devil.
Sam will tell you, we should have got him on here because we could tell this story. So Sam shows up in the Toyota, and he's all prepared. He's got all, he's got his, his stuff done. He looks all professional. Well, this guy shows up, and Nate and I are filling out all the paperwork. So, and this guy pulls this Mustang out. He's got chicks around him, and he's throwing condoms. He owned a strip club, and the condoms had his Chris Strip Club's name on them. So he's acting all cocky with this stuff, and he fires this car up, and it's like, it sounded okay. And if you watch, I'll be able to watch the episode of Sam. I'm going to give Sam the episode himself. I'm going to send him his own episode, which is great. The guy tries to make a pass. I think it was, first of all, it was debauchery, utter debauchery. Car wouldn't do a burnout. Then the guy left. It was, I think they pushed him back. And then I realized that they had blown the head gasket or had the head gasket on it backwards. So now they're looking at me because it's $50,000 an episode. If they don't get a race speed, and that was my job then, was to help Nate with that. And then of course, get these cars going. I did it like 10 cars. So I looked at it, I go, hold it out. I go, head gasket's gone. He's like, what do? I said, drain the antifreeze, drop the antifreeze out of the damn thing, run it over, put the cap on, leave it just loose. I said, you're going to lose your car, make a Hail Mary. So this guy tries to do it again. I think he made a pass, and then it was just, I think if Sam could probably, it's been a while since I watched it, but I think.
Hey, Sam, I just sent the link to you on Messenger, so you can click on that link and you can come on the screen.
Yeah, Sam, bring your ass in. Tell us about this. So I do believe that they brought in like a Sargent to take his place, and then Sam actually got to did his run done, and of course, history is he won that race, and then that's actually the first time that Sam and I crossed paths back then, and we on and off for the years though, but we've been friends. But it's the one thing you could give away $1 million. You could give away, you could race for pride. You could race for trophies. The one thing that Pinks did that nothing else did and created pure emotion was losing your ride. I sat there in every single one of them, and they came in like strong. Once again, Buddy lives in Jersey, had that AMC, the red, white, and blue one. Guy shows up cocky in this white Mustang. He's got his whole entourage around, all this stuff like that. And, here he comes out there. And I knew, and you're not supposed to know who you are that was cast, but I knew he wasn't playing, and he wouldn't show up with a 10-second car, whether he did or not. Street racer back in the day. And he just put the ass whooping from up and down every which way in Lebanon Valley on this poor guy. And he went from cocky to tears so fast. You have no idea. Excuses. And then was upset and then mad and then, pouting. And then same thing with the guy with the other guys, I won one and I lost one on Pinks. And I knew, it was funny. I blew a rod in this Camaro racing Mike Pichello in the Mustang. And I said to my guys, we shoved the rag in the hole in the oil pan. And I said, load 2 more bottles on the back, turn on fucking kill. I said, because nothing says in the rules, I got to give this guy a car in one piece. I said, I'm going to launch this thing on everything it's got. It's going to blow up. I'll probably hit the wall. I strapped myself in. I said, but what he's taking home is nothing but a big pile of crap. I go, and if you watch our episode, he knew that I was hurt. So he did like 27 burnouts back and forth while I'm idling him. And this thing is just, it's 7 cylinders and it's just going away. And he comes up for that last burnout, pulls up and boom, blows the head gasket all over the place.
Oh no.
Antifreeze everywhere on the track. And now everybody's like standing around like, he can't make a pass. But I'm like, I can. And they wouldn't let me go. I'm like, Mike, oh no, man, you're leaking oil. It kept the rag had now been soaked. There was still some more stuff in there. And I knew if I turned it off, there had to be no oil in that thing, and it was just hurt bad. I mean, the rod snapped. Man. Rich didn't know anything about cars or anything about racing. And so it came down to this. He says, well, you broke first, so he wins. So Pichello won. I ended up buying that car back from him later on from there. It was just a whole big mess. But when I was there to give the keys away, I wasn't like anybody else. I didn't cry. He comes over and I threw the keys in the water box in the water. I said, "Get your piece of shit," and I walked away. and that was it. I mean, but man, I was probably the only one. People, I mean, it's the tears. But that, I'm telling you, if we get the chance to do this show again, it will make history again. It will be the greatest show.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Street Outlaws
You got to do something like
$10,000.
Bradenton or Orlando.
Yeah.
You got to come there.
Yeah, our first one's Orlando. We could probably go call Ozzy back up and head back over there again. That would be kind of
man, that would be
traditional.
awesome.
Bring it back. I'm sure Ozzy would let me come out there and do it again. I know him. But yeah.
Did you ever have anybody not want to give up their car? Where you got a strong arm?
They literally signed the title over.
Oh, really?
We had their titles.
They hand that stuff over before the race.
We got the title. So some of the cars that we got the titles for, they never showed up. And we had it. That was the biggest problem, was casting with that, because people would get their, they would give their titles and some couldn't make it. We had one guy, I remember we were out in Lebanon Valley. It was supposed to be like this, I don't know, it was like a bug or some car. And the guy built a motor. And the guy realized, the engine builder that gave him the motor to use on there, at the last minute realized you do lose your car. And he thought maybe he could lose his motor, took the motor back.
Oh,
so the guy never showed up. We had a guy that was at, I think it was, who was it at MIR showed up, and he ended up, who was it? He ended up coming there and he donated money. He said, "I'll pay." And he donated money and the guy chose a charity. But that put a severe pickle on production, because all these cars were lined up and 50,000 episode didn't happen. And that's where, at the end of things, we were getting a lot of the cars where there was desperation at times in 10 and 20 and 30 car lengths. But that's what we had to do to get the show done. That's show business. But the, that they wouldn't allow like shops put their shop names because of advertising marketing. And I think that if we allow people to let marketing on cars and stickers and decals and all that stuff, I think it'd be a lot better. And one of the things I think that's going to do it, I think I've decided that if we do bring it back, it's going to be on a no prep track, which will be the equalizer. I'm not a big fan of no prep. It's not what I've ever done really. But it is what it is. I've always raced on a prep track. But I've been watching. It is interesting. And I watched a couple and talked to a couple races. It's the equalizer. My buddy showed up there. They used to run in Pro 5.0 with, and he's out there at one of the races. I'm like, I call him on the phone. I saw you on live stream. I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm racing." He goes, "Why?"
Yeah.
He goes, "Because I don't need the fastest car here." I said, "Oh," and I thought to myself, "Well,
hey guys,
this is all the problem."
Hey, let me share the screen real quick. Try to get Sam on. He's having a problem getting on.
Good.
Hold on 1 second. Hey Sam, try hitting join stream.
From the link I got today, it was a completely different way to get in.
Really?
It's like they keep changing it.
Yeah, that's happened to me before too.
Yeah.
I had to hit it. It was like it wanted me to share on my social media.
Yeah,
that was like the only way to get in. But then once I did that, then it came up with another screen that basically wanted me to pick what social media I wanted.
Yeah, me
and
too.
I just X'd out of that, and then it said join stream. So it's like taking you sideways to get in here. They've changed something.
Really?
That second link you sent me, Lewis, worked way better. It went direct. So whatever you sent me worked.
It used to be the links that you sent would just take you
straight
directly to backstage, and it would say join stream. You just join the stream. But now it's like they want to promote by sticking the material on your own stuff at the same time.
Hey Sam, I'm gonna try to send the link again. Maybe that'll work.
Let me address Jimmy Turk real quick. Jimmy, I got your message. I don't really watch too much on my messenger. I saw it when Lewis sent me over that link. Our next event is going to be. I gotta look it up. Where the hell's my damn calendar around here? Hold on a second. See if I can pull up our thing right here. Hang tight. So we go to our website real quick, which is we're doing a new Pinks All Out website. We're finishing up right now. For some reason, it won't let me get on here.
See, when I click on a link, it shows me just join stream.
What are you throwing marbles?
So we're gonna be
They're really big, these giant freaking jelly beans I got.
Oh,
They're
cool.
huge. So I throw out the green ones. I don't like those.
we're gonna be at Gulfport, Mississippi, at Gulfport Dragway on the 8th and 9th. And oh, there's my wife. Thanks, honey. She did. So it'll be the 8th and 9th. And I'll email you up, Jimmy. I don't know what we could do about doing nostalgic all out show itself, because if there's not enough cars, it's pretty hard to just do, 5-6 cars and all out. We might be able to do something on a heads up on our call out or something of that nature, but we'll get together. We'll figure it out. But I just got that from you. I appreciate you messaging me.
Hey Sam, try logging off your browser and reopen your browser, and then try to come back in. Sorry, guys. I want to get Sam in because Sam got the behind the doors stuff.
Sam and I were one of the original ones on that show. He was on the last season. I was on season 1 and 2, and he was on the last season of Pinks. And then we turned into Pinks All Out, and then from there.
I got a buddy. I got a buddy that was on the show. His name's Porky. He's a Long Island engine builder. Did you guys do a show at Englishtown?
Yeah. Well, we did Pinks All Out. We didn't do a Pinks there.
Okay. It might have been Pinks All Out. He was driving a Nova, a box Nova. I think he raced against a Camaro. Well, he was driving a Camaro, a second-gen Camaro. I think they wound up losing to a box Nova. I'm not positive.
Sam,
but I remember that episode.
What's up, Easy Money?
He was driving a Camaro.
What's going on?
Turn on a light. You can't see you.
You look like a black dude.
Hold on.
Hey,
Rob Morley back there. There you go.
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
That's a good poster.
Look,
Hey,
the background is
A little better.
lighter.
the volume's low on this side.
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that night of Pinks. That was a great night.
Hey,
Brian looked so young. I was young too, but Brian, you looked really young.
yeah.
Man, that
Wait,
night,
can I put anything in these?
In the
I'll
chat?
put some pictures. Can I add some pictures to the
Um,
chat or no?
I think you can. Do you see share screen down the bottom? Or I don't know where it is on yours though.
Go to the icon that's looks like a gear. I think.
Oh yeah, hold on a second.
Right? Or the one next to that. No, that's play local video.
Now I got this stupid restream thing stuck on my screen here. How do I get out of this?
Yeah.
hey Brian, look.
It's the icon after the video camera.
Okay. I
Hey
got this.
Brian, Sam's hitting his bottle there.
Bloody Mary.
I can't see because the stupid I hit the wrong button. Now I got a whole screen full of restream. Hi there. Thank you for choosing restream. Bull. Let's get this stupid thing off my stupid page.
Well,
Hold on a
while
second,
you're
wait, hold on.
picking up
There we go. I got it.
night with Pinks. That was the best night of all the years that I've done whatever I've done. That was one of the funnest nights we've ever had. One more week, my friend. One more week. Lewis, you'll be missed.
Hey, I'm gonna try to run down there.
Oh, are you Pigeon Forge?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to come down.
Hey, Brian, we're filming 2 episodes from there, so I'll be there all day Friday and Saturday.
Oh, nice. I'm
Yeah,
gonna photobomb.
Yeah, that'll be cool. So let's talk about that night. So we had 3 cars, and all 3 cars had problems, right? But the Japanese car had less problems than the 2 other cars.
Wow.
My problem was the fuel feed line was run in between the subframe and the body of the car. So every time the car launched, the subframe bushings would collapse, and the feed line would pitch and go dry. And that's why you heard what you heard, and the car acted the way it did. It would do a burnout, but every time it launched, it would mess up. But the blue car, the Cobra, it had a whole slew of problems. Like you said, it had a head gasket blown. They had to take the antifreeze out. The line lock wasn't working right. That's why it would shut off in the mid-track because the front wheels were locked, and he was leaking brake fluid.
Oh.
Then the third guy was so fast, and had he not popped a wheelie and broke a starter, he may have taken my car home.
I forgot about that. That car was fast.
Oh yeah, that was.
I forgot. He raced another race or something. Where'd we find his ass? I can't remember.
You found him. You guys found him. You and Nate came up and said you found him in the parking lot. And if you remember, at the he kept saying "Dirty South," fastest in the Dirty South. That was when the fast racing in the Dirty South came to be back then. And now you have a show called Fastest Cars in the Dirty South.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
was Dirty South back then. And those guys were awesome. Did you see when the big white guy was asking for a wrench because the starter broke and they gave him a little 8mm wrench, and the look on his face when he grabbed the wrench, he's like, "What is this?" And then the guy, John Kaufman, who said anywhere else in the world who would have won by now. And then he also said, how many Fords does it take to beat a Toyota? He unfortunately passed away. If you remember, the last guy on the show, when I hugged him, when we won and we hugged, the first hug I gave, that first guy I hugged, that December, we shot in October, that December, he passed away.
Wow.
Fell off of a
cow.
ladder changing a bulb in the shop, and when he fell off the ladder, he hit his head on the lift arm.
Oh,
It was a freak accident. His mother called, told me, "Hey Terry, what's up?" Mother called me and told me the incident, and it was horrible.
God.
But that was the funnest night because it was all about negotiation. In the car, I put a professional drag racer, Brad White. He raced for Titan Motorsports, and he was racing pro mods. And so I put him, Gary White. I put him in the car just so he can drive it because I knew that when it comes to pinks, the negotiation was more important than the drag race.
That's the typical street race way.
Oh, dude, it was so fun.
There are times that I spent down by JFK getting ready for a street race, and the bullshit would go on for 2 to 3 hours before they would finally pull these cars out. And it was money. It was who's got wheelie bars. I told you no wheelie bars. Who's got this? Who's got that? Those heads don't look like the heads that were on that car when I saw you at Englishtown Sunday. It just never stops.
What's funny is we had everybody cheats. And that's how you race.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
in my car, I had 2 stages of nitrous. One stage was for the car. Without that, the car would not spool up and go. The other stage was a total dummy stage. There were no solenoids. I had 2 lines zip tied to the bottom of the intake manifold, so it appeared there were 2 solenoids there, and I had 2 bottles in the trunk. So during the negotiation, Brian, if you remember, I said, I'll negotiate the second kit, but the first kit, I need the first kit. Without it, the car won't run. So that was one cheating thing, and Pinks as an outfit loved it. The second one was I put a Greddy boost controller button underneath the floor mat of the left foot where normally a high beam switch would be on an old car.
Yeah.
And that would add or subtract 100 horsepower, but the car would never dip, the sound would never change, nothing would happen except for it would slow down or speed up. And so that was another thing. And they wanted us to talk about it in the background, but it was just part of the show. It was fun. It was so much fun. That was the best fun I've had 4 hours of my life. And Brian, it was one of the most aired episodes of Pinks in history.
I did the same thing. So in Orlando, that's where Nate was out there first, Charles with the woolly mammoth, and I met Rich Christensen when I walked in the hotel in Orlando, walking down. He's walking with a what do you call it, a towel around him going to the pool. Looked at him, and I met him at SEMA. That's where I got hooked up. And he looked at me. He goes, Brian, and that's where we met. And the car was not finished. We had put the car in the trailer to get there because he called us up and it was only like 3 weeks to build a car. We built the car in 3. That was the easy compared to what we did the second one. But so we bought a car from actually Terrace Hicks, who actually now just got Capital Race. He's leasing that, and he had it in his backyard. It had a Fox body roller with just a cage. That was it, nothing else. And I took that car in 3 weeks, and I bought a 351. I built a 351 stroke to 418 trick flow high ports. The trick flow gave me because we were probably moving 1 million trick fits. trick flow, street track heat. And then what we did was, that's when Nitrous Express was just starting to get hot. And
Yep.
everybody's using those phenolic plenum spacers. Well,
Yep.
they just made that kit that worked on the race port one that sat between the upper and lower and had
Yep.
2 spray bars in it. And I painted that to look like phenolic spacer. And then I came out the back. I put the combo tubing, and we went down back behind the tranny, and we drilled it, and we went right back up behind the firewall. You know, in the little Cooper 5-liter Mustangs, they got the
Yep.
grill on top. You know, the windshield wiper grill.
Did the
I
cow
cut
hook,
off. If you go inside the car, I cut the bottom out, and I ended up putting 2 10-pound bottles this way in there on the firewall, bolted through. And then in that area, I had the solenoids, I had the timing retard, I had the MSD, I had all the MSD boxes, everything built into there. And then Cervini's made the cover solid in fiberglass. They just painted the car and did everything, wrapped it all, and just put it in there in one. And they had no idea. So we had just put the air intake tube, you could see it out. So it was 418. It made like 6. I think it was a solid roller. I was revving the shit out of that poor Windsor too. It made like 610, and then we had a 250. It was a 200 and a 300 on it, on 2 stages on that car. And the problem was we didn't have the car finished. We finished it in a Walmart parking lot in Orlando, and they brought the cameras out there, and they never put it on air. You know, which would have been great. Like you said, all that back behind stupid shit, and the car was just basically finished. And I ended up racing this Nova, and I had the same problem you did, but my main fuse, we had put so much power into the one switch that I made the first pass, I beat them, made the second one, the car just shut off. They told me back, we negotiated some time. We just literally, my guy says, it's the main power. Your main power box is, the power's just shut off. We pulled the fuse, we ran a fucking hot wire, boom, right in the back of that thing. Everything in the car was hot forever. I mean, you basically had to take the disconnect off, turn the the fuel pump and everything off the car. But we ended up beating that guy. But we're first pass we made like you on the motor. Oh yeah, it's great. And then I never left on the juice. I come out and I put a glide in that car too. People didn't even know I had a glide in that thing with a 14. Just sat on small tires, and to make it quiet, it was 3-inch exhaust with long tube headers. But I called up Dynamax. I said, "What is the highest flowing, quietest muffler you had?" And it was like some RV or SUV muffler. They wouldn't fit. So we put it with a wood block, and we banged them square, and we shoved them up on there. And this thing had like a 680 lift, and it would go blah, 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 blah. It was such a lie and such cheating shit. It was just, and we, you go leave out a hole on it was like a 4,200 stall, and one, and just look back, the second one, and just tore his ass up, man, over and over. And he just couldn't figure it out. He tried switching. He had he tried adding pills and nitro stages, and that was, you know what though, probably the most fun I ever had.
Oh,
sure. That was so that was just it's exhilarating.
Yanks really was one of the most fun shows, and it really got everybody's attention. It's the reason for a lot of the stuff you see today. I think it's the reason for laws, all that stuff that's going on today. Hand dropping, JJ the Boss, all those guys doing what they're doing is because of Pinks.
I remember Pinks when it might have been one of the first episodes with go-karts.
Yeah, that was the exact first one.
That was the first episode? I remember that.
That was a pilot episode that they gave Rich, I think, like $8,000 to do a pilot or something. And they did it with the two go-karts, and that was the one that they aired, and then they gave them a contract. And those first episodes, they only gave them $25,000 per episode to make the original Pinks. Wow. And then exploded. And our budget for Pinks All Out was $380,000 an episode. Wow. Yeah.
Wow.
Episode, man, I'll tell you, Commerce, when Pinks All Out came out, it was 6 months. It was the spring of 2008. They came out here. That's when I was fixing the Cressida to get the Pinks All Out. And Commerce was full pull. I mean, full capacity. Never in all the years I lived in Georgia did I see Commerce at full capacity. And now Commerce is sold. It's gone.
Yeah.
Well, if you look behind me and you go up there and you look at that right there.
Yep.
Well, that's what we got from Speed Channel. Everybody signed it. It was a poster they did. There's only like 10 of those. Each one of the cast members got it. Some in the blood, split, and tears.
That's
Love it.
the only thing I have left from that day. Everybody took everything.
I've got all kinds of shit. If you need anything, I've got every single shirt in plastic, multiples. Because when we go there, you know, like sometimes I show up and I don't have enough jacket. Oh, here you go. They hand me. I've got sweat jackets. I've got a leather jacket. I've got hats, underwear. I mean, we've got
It's an underwear. It's a pair of drawers.
They gave me this little star thing for on there. I've got all kinds of stupid shit. I mean, it's nuts.
Put that on your dressing room drawer.
Well, I even have the original production book from Pink's All Out that we were given in season 4, which lays out basically every single step of everything. Clay Milligan, Off-Camera Timing Associates. I've got every single one. I also have every single picture that we were given. The original photographer Pink's All Out was a friend of mine, and when he was dumping all his files after these years, he says, "You're doing it." He goes, "You might as well be the gatekeeper." He sent me the books and all the files and all the downloads. I probably have something of yours in there, but I have every episode, every one. But that one back there was 33,000 people at ZMAX in one day. 2 weeks after NHRA, which only put 28,000 people in there. That's how big it was.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I want to see that again.
So was he
the show, man? Pink's and Pastime.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I like Pastime too.
You got to bring Pastime back.
Jerry, did you hear that I own that now?
I did not. Well, first of all, let's do this right. What's up, Lewis? What's up? What's up, Sam? What's up, boss one? My man Ray. What's happening, fellas? I miss you guys. Let's do it right. All right, now tell me what.
So, if you watch this, that's my first time I announced it. Lewis was the first person I graced the interest. I own Pink's All Out, Pastime, Drag Race High, Pink's All Outtakes. I own the URLs. I own the trademarks. I own all the old episodes. I own everything. Nice. I purchased it from Fox Television. I got the deal done 3 weeks ago.
So awesome. So are you going to air it again? Or are you going to shoot it again?
Yeah, we're going to take the episodes. We haven't figured out yet. We have the reason why I went back after it pretty hard was we have a network that kind of chased us down. Me, because of my association, of course, me being the gatekeeper of all this crazy shit, and reached out to me. And then I got lucky and I reached back out. So I was telling them to Fox, and everybody left, got the right person. In 6 weeks, I got the deal done. I wired them the money, I think 2 weeks ago when we got back. I don't know if I did it before we came back.
Oh, man,
beautiful. Right before, I think it was right before the Muscle Shows weekend.
Yeah. I went broke on that day and drank all weekend.
Hey, I don't know if you noticed in the title it has Brian Rattlesnake.
Rattlesnake.
Hey, this dude tried to get us. He tried to get us all to go to this bar, Rattlesnake, and we was like, we can't go, man. We gotta go to bed. It was late. He was like, come on, I'll pay for the Uber.
I said, I looked up the lift and everything. I said, we're going, and I couldn't get anybody to go with me.
I would have went with you, man. I'm sorry. I missed it. I'm sorry. I would have definitely went with you.
Sam pushed out.
Oh, Terry,
no, we can't say it was out. It was basically worked out. The work was just like, yo, they opened up right there.
Sam pushed out because I was going to pay for the damn lift, and nobody wanted it. Everybody's like, Terry, I'll pay for it.
Terry, if you, me, and Lewis would have gone, we wouldn't have made it home.
Yeah, we'd have been in jail.
You know, it would have been. Someone would have started something, and then we would have all been going in the deep. I was like, oh man,
the funny part is,
let me out.
We don't even know what Rattlesnakes actually is. It could have been like a
gay bar.
A gay bar. It was just the guy. Remember the guy came? Were you there when the guy came up? Yeah, you were there, Sam. The guy comes over that because he had the kid there, and we're a little loud and probably using foul language. And he comes over. We thought he was going to yell at us for cussing, and his kid was there. He's like, "You guys look like a bunch of guys that like a cool place. You need to go to Rattlesnakes." and Dwayne goes, "Rattlesnakes?" He goes, "Yeah, guys like you." Pointing at Dwayne with the hair shit, and yeah, you fit right in there. And I'm thinking to myself,
What kind of place is this?
And, one bottle down. I mean, the large. What size was that Jack? That huge Jack bottle.
Man, that was a big bottle.
It was a
We
big
finished
bottle.
that, and we finished that other. Who was Woodford Reserve? Whatever the hell he brought out that shit.
It was the Fireball wannabe stuff. It was
Jack Daniels.
Jack Daniels.
Jack.
Yeah.
Cinnamon.
But
Too
if
sweet
we
for
had
me.
taken Wayne with us, had we gone and not taken Wayne with us, we wouldn't have made it because Wayne looked like them, and so therefore would have been accepted. But Wayne.
Oh man. Yeah, just as long as you don't walk in the door and you hear dee 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 dee.
Yeah, right. Hey Terry, why don't you come pick me up next weekend? We'll go down to meet them down in Tennessee.
What's happening? What is the
Pigeon
LS?
Forge.
What's happening in Tennessee?
Oh,
No, it's
The
a
Jeep.
thing.
the
Got
biggest
nothing to do with LS.
That's true. There's
Oh,
LS
so I got
Jeeps.
excited for a second.
Hey, wait.
Or
There's
56
probably
Chevy.
LS Jeeps there.
Listen,
Nothing but a Jeep thing, baby. It's a
listen,
Jeep thing.
Pigeon Forge is fun when it's off the chain and everybody's there. It's always been fun. So,
Oh nah, man. I know it is, man.
it's cool.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Boss one, what's up, man?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm
That's-
doing
this
all
is
right,
a-
man.
What the hell is that?
Cool.
Say hi to everyone, Mr. Gray. He's
Mr.
African.
Gray?
He's an African gray parrot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Why does he have to be African?
Well,
Yeah, why is it
because
going to be African?
Because that's
I'll
where they
wait
come
for it.
from.
I was waiting for it.
he's a token African, Louis.
Is that the same bird as Beretta? No, Beretta had a what?
He was white.
This-
Cockatiel.
the man's
Cockatoo.
best friend. He's
Cockatiel or
the one-
something, yeah.
What's up, Mr. Gray? What's happening?
That's a pretty bird.
That is a
Yeah.
pretty bird.
He's
Probably
the
going
only
to crap on him.
And he has a red tail?
His tail's
He just
red.
crapped on Bob Marley.
Hey, Terry, you like Bob Marley behind me?
I saw that. That's
cool.
one
That's
thing
a great poster.
Thank
That's
you.
You know,
awesome
if you put
poster.
dreads on you, you'd look
25
like him.
years old. That poster, 25 years old. And then you got that guy here from Daytona, 1995. That's reggae. I like reggae music, so.
That's
Oh
cool.
man.
Yeah, I do too.
Did you ever see Billy Glidden's big giant macaws or parrots that he's got?
No.
Yes, I actually beat him because his car broke. in
I
a
had
race.
those. He came to
Those
my
are
chassis shop. We did some stuff for him when he was up near New York, and he had those two giant,
Yes.
brightly colored African parrots or macaws, whatever they are. One was
Yep.
a lot of reds and whites and blues. The other one was greens and flying around my shop.
Uh-huh.
It was awesome.
He take
Totally
him to the track
awesome.
and everything.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
takes the
yeah.
track. I was at MIR and I was running the Pro 50, my Pro 50 car back then, and we made it. We were going to meet up with him in the semis, and he got all pissed off and spazzed out. He blamed somebody threw something in his carburetor and hurt the motor, and he couldn't race. And I'm like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, God. Because I don't know if you ever raced Billy Glidden before, but good God. We'd all go
Tell me
down there and be
about
like, oh, the track sucks. This is terrible. Oh, I can't make a pass in. Here comes Billy Glidden. Quiet, sit there, go down there. Bam! Any track, any surface the guy could go down. And I'm like, but he couldn't make it. He couldn't make the call, or we went up there, it broke, or motor was making noise. I won, and I actually won that event. Thank God.
Yeah. It's in,
I
it's
wasn't
in his,
looking forward to
you know,
racing
it's in
Billy
his
Glidden.
blood. He races everything. He was, we raced against him a few times when he was running IHRA Pro Stock. And he was running one of his dad's probes back then with a mountain motor in it. And let me tell you something.
Wow.
Him and his wife, they work.
Was it Cunningham's probe?
It might have been.
Yeah, my shop was 3 tenths of a mile from Capital Raceway, and Cunningham put together that
Yeah.
whole probe package and had there. But,
Yep.
That's right, Boss One. You're from Long Island, right?
originally
Yeah.
Long Island, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mm.
So
and now
this
he's
is
down
Bob.
here with me in Florida.
Yeah. You know what they say? All the shit sells to the bottom, and here we are.
Yeah.
Well,
Best state going right now. You got the best state going.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
that's it. Got a good governor, and it's nice.
Yep. Yeah, it's been good. We've been very blessed when it came to that.
Yeah.
Hey Sam, you got me looking at Audis now, man. Sam took me for a ride in his Audi, and that thing wasn't no joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All muscle.
It was. It was. You know, since you have me, as long as you get a warranty and you got me to ask questions, you're good. You can buy an Audi.
Yeah.
What's
A lot of people.
Sam? What's
a lot
the
of people-
what's the real crazy expensive fast one? Is that an R8 or A8? What
the
R8. R8.
R8? Okay, I got a customer got 2 of them.
That's the Lamborghini Gallardo twin.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when the Gallardo came out when Audi acquired Lamborghini.
Okay.
Ah.
So that's why Lamborghinis are so what they are. I mean, like they're so top notch now. It's because Audi refined them.
Mhm.
Audi, Volkswagen bought them, and so therefore they've got a lot of Audi, Volkswagen characteristics in them, and that's why they're
Right.
raised up in class. You know what I mean? It used to be just
So-
a raw.
Yeah.
Like what last year was the last year of production for that?
Was
or
it R8?
something?
Really?
Yeah.
No, they
No?
still have 'em. Yeah.
Okay, because my guy's got one that it's the last one in production
Really?
I
for
know they
last
stopped making-
for last
they-
year.
Yeah. In probably last year
And-
production.
Yeah, and then he's got one from the year before, which it's like I opened up his garage and he's got a black one there, and then like 8 months later I opened the garage and now he's got an orange one sitting next to the black one, and I'm like, really? You got to have 2? And he's like, dude, he goes, you don't understand. This one's special.
Each R8 at least an
Okay.
inch. Each R8
Huh?
at least an inch.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
awesome
but-
cars.
Does
Did you
anybody get each R8's worth at least an inch? You know how trucks get bigger? Trucks get bigger and bigger and taller. The taller they get, sometimes you'll lose an inch.
So Terry Wilson, what are you up to?
You know me, man. Still doing the video, still doing everything, man. I got so many projects under my belt. It's ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
see. I've been watching you. I've been watching all your projects going on.
I appreciate that, man. I really do.
Everybody
And,
watches. I'm always watching.
Well, I got to give John a special, like, hey, John, a video's getting ready to come up, check it out. I got to give John a special invite. And by the way,
I get him too.
oh, yeah. And by the way, the Monster Garage episode is finally going to air on Discovery, not Plus, but Discovery.
Oh, nice.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is.
It was supposed to air last Monday. They're airing them every Monday now. It was supposed to air last Monday. I think the Wayne Maddox's episode is going to air not this Monday coming up, but the following Monday.
Mhm.
But they at the last minute they pulled an audible on me. It's like, no, we're going to put the Shuck and Dragster on. I was like, But hey, it's going to be airing. That's cool.
I'll set up the DVR.
Set it up. When you see Shev's got shingles, you're going to be like, that's a recipe for a cover man to be making a fool out of himself on national TV or worldwide TV.
Man, you represent it
very well.
Send out a notification, Terry, so we'll know.
Oh, I will. I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Did they renew the series? I heard.
That I don't know.
Yeah, I think they did because they said
Dwayne said
new
he thought
episodes.
he heard that they did.
Well, if they did, it's going to take a while because I remember when we started shooting, we shot the second episode because of the pandemic. So we started shooting, I want to say January, March, April, May, June, in April. We were supposed to in July, June. We were supposed to shoot in April, but then with this whole pandemic, we shot in July, and they aired the first episode. They wanted to air it before Seaman. But whatever reason, I don't know. They aired it last February. So we shot July last year, and they finally aired the first episode on Discovery Plus in February.
Yeah.
And so now what they're going to do is they're going to start airing them on regular Discovery Channel. They have already.
That's awesome.
All of that stuff is always like so far behind.
Yeah.
In terms of when they film and when they show it.
Man, now we are filming the Low Car Show. Like, let's say this weekend I was supposed to be in Kentucky, but the track got rained out. So I'm doing 2 episodes in Pigeon Forge next week. But when we come back from Pigeon Forge next week, the episode's due in 1 week. It's going to air in 10 days.
Ooh.
That's how quick.
See, now, when I used to do episodes with the TV show Tanked, the aquarium deal,
Yeah.
we would film that stuff, and sometimes it was edited immediately and
Yep.
aired 8
Right
to
away.
10 days later.
Yep, that's
You
right
know?
now where we are. We're right
It
now.
would, they were on an insane schedule, those dudes.
Well, what happens is the car shows, everything happens late in some cases, and right now one show is 3 days. I mean, he's got 3 days to get the show shot, edit it, and up to the network so it can air the following weekend. That's just because
that's because the time has been bought last year for this year.
Yep.
And that schedule never changes, but the car show schedule does.
Exactly.
Yeah. See, but when I went with my buddies out to Memphis and shot with JJ the Boss, because of the way they run Street Outlaws, you got the OKC guys, and then there's JJ's deal, and then there's like special one-offs, the whole 9 years. It was 8 months before the episode showed up on TV. We went out there in April and filmed it, and it didn't show up until like SEMA time.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's crazy to stick something on the shelf that long.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to say something about Sam and his production. See, I look at this stuff when I pay attention to this stuff when I'm places because I might want to do it one day. So I'm stealing ideas, right? So I'm keeping my eye on Sam the whole day, right? And I tell you what, man, they're there to do business. You know, they do their filming, they do their editing. You know, I seen them in the lobby of the hotel. Like, we're going to do the voiceovers right then. They do their filming, they do the editing. You know, I see them in the lobby of the hotel. Like, we're going to do the voiceovers right then.
Repeating.
I mean, somebody has a window open. Might be me.
What it is the pandemic. We used to shoot the low car show starting in spring, and then we would have time, and we would do it at a slow pace. But the pandemic moved everything one full quarter last year, so now we're still on that same schedule. And what's happened is like everything's catching up. July and August, as far as car shows, is a big 2 months, and at the same time they're airing 14 weeks after we actually air them, shoot them. So we have no choice but to do our job, Lewis. I wish I could hang around and bullshit with Brian and Dwayne more often than you, but we're going to get the show done. And the show is going to be airing this weekend. Le Mans, I think Petit Le Mans or 24 Hours of Le Mans is on this weekend, so it got moved to 3 o'clock, but they didn't cancel it. They didn't take it away. Usually when something that big comes up, they'll just take your show
for another week.
Yeah, but they actually moved it into the afternoon, so it was good.
That's cool.
Yeah, it gave me appreciation to what you do, man. You know, watching how you work.
I appreciate it. You know, you and me and Sang went over to that Mexican restaurant. That Mexican restaurant looked legit, by the way. Next time we go over there, we got to patronize them. They were legit. But me and Homeboy, we worked together, doing cars for 12 to 15 years. So he knows what's up, and he knows the shots. And we work well together, and we're old school employees. So we have to, you guys we're all the same age. So we know that back in the day, you have to show up 15 minutes early. You have to bust your ass. You have to work for minimum wage.
If you're on time, you're late.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're late.
True.
You got to take your Geritol.
Yeah, man. It's different today.
Don't even mention Geritol.
Geritol. Still around?
Gotta get up in the morning, gotta take my Metamucil, get ready to shoot.
I don't do the Metamucil. I just do like a boatload of vitamins. Man, I just turned 63.
Holy crap.
I'm old.
Damn, you look good for 63, man. Damn.
Right?
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, man. You take a bow, man. Oyster.
Still got hair.
I'm only 3 weeks out, brothers.
Yeah, that's right. He's coming up.
And I hit the club too.
He's coming up. But yeah.
My man Ray.
Big fat
Ray's going to get that North Carolina sunshine. So it's going to be like Mark from Orc where it reverses your age.
You're going to get that North Carolina mugginess.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll tell you, my kids were up here enjoying my pool and complaining how hot and vicious it was in Long Island. And I'm down in South Carolina. It was the same temperature. It was in the 90s. And everybody I met a bunch of guys down there that I've known through the internet. And they were all saying, we're sorry, but this is like this is the southern heat. This is the southern humidity. I'm like, it's no worse than home. It's like,
No.
my shirt's sticking to me. I'm sweating a little. Big deal.
It's just like Long Island. It's like August in Long Island, almost all year round.
I had no problem with it at all. I really didn't.
Yeah.
So, whatever.
Hey, you know what? That's why they make air conditioning.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking about.
If I could do away with the snow, man, I'd stop my snowboard. I would. If they said no more snow, get rid of your snow stuff, I'd be like, in a second. I'd throw it out the window.
Every time there's some crazy storm up north, I always post that picture of the tape measure with the shadow, and I'm like, dude, we got like 10 inches of sunshine today. It's gonna be tough.
You're one of those guys, man. You suck, man. Yeah, but in July, when you're sweating your nards off, we like, yeah, what's up?
No, it's just as hot as Long Island.
Hey, Lewis, is there a way from this screen to send Brian a link? I don't see anything on here that's just. I used to see it before.
I tried putting a picture up of him, but it won't even allow me to do anything like that.
He said he couldn't come in after the show started.
Really?
Yeah.
See, they're switching stuff up. I don't know what's going on.
So,
I think I sent it to him in Facebook.
All right, I'll tell him because he wanted to.
You're going to be a SEMA, right?
Who?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got.
Okay, I'll make sure. Boss One, you're going to be there?
What do you think?
I know you're going because you got to get your knee pads out, right? That's what he told me. He was like, yo, I'll be right back.
I've got pants with steel-plated knee covers built into them.
There you go.
I'll have to throw the knee pads once or twice.
I had to go back in a couple of those private little rooms and make my way around. And I
behind the red door.
Chapstick, Vaseline, and knee protection.
Because you don't want to chafe.
And rattlesnake.
And rattlesnake. Well, the only person in question is we got to try to, like I said, we got an A-team kidnap Ray.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you something. I was just talking to my wife about it while we were down south, and she brought up Vegas, how she'd like to go out there. And I said, so we got to do SEMA. I said, but we got to do it like John. I said, because, John is kind of like our compadres. I said, New Yorkers. I said, we got to do it like John. I said, we do our car stuff in the day. I said, no, we got to do your stuff at night. I said, what am I going to say?
I'm there. I got a big suite at the Venetian.
Oh,
right.
That's expensive.
Hey, I'm gonna be staying at the Motel 6 unless you guys throw in a couple $dollars for me.
I don't know if we'll do it that much like John, but we'll do it kind of like John.
Dude, it's not all that expensive.
Your expensive is different than our expensive.
Well, no, Ray, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
If you went to the Venetian, your tongue would be hanging out of your mouth.
Well, yeah.
The
But I'll be
place
on
is exquisite.
Got to remember, by that point, I'm going to be on retirement money, so it's going to be like
Hey,
money.
You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it.
In 2005 or 6, the Venetian for the week was $3,300.
Yeah.
For the week, yeah.
I know. Well, when I go to SEMA, it's about a $3,500 bill.
Wow.
But
Spend more than that.
No, man, that's
my wife is like, it's my vacation, and we're gonna go to a couple of shows, and we're gonna stay in a nice place. You know why? I took her to SEMA, and 2 times we stayed at the hotel where the show is.
Yeah.
And they were under renovation, and she was like, "This place is a shithole."
Oh,
she goes, "I don't care that Elvis slept here. It's a shithole."
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
I'm staying this time. I'm staying there just on personal.
It's been completely redone now.
Yeah.
But going back a couple of years ago, they were redoing it.
I stayed at the Hard Rock for the last 15 years, and it was depressing. When we walked up and they said they're closing it.
What?
What's his face bought it? Virgin. What's his name? Bought it and switched it over to Virgin property.
Branson?
I was so mad. I got all my shit there. I stole when I was walking that door that day. I took all my Hard Rock shit. I had towels on. I had the whole shit, and I got them. I got pads because that was it.
At the last
15, 20 years,
SEMA show 2 years ago, we met a buddy of mine who lives in California. Came out. He was in my in my high school rock band. He was a guitarist, and he was like, "Dude, I'm staying at the Hard Rock." So we went over there to have some drinks, and they told us, "Yeah, the place is closing." And that was 2 SEMAs. Well, last year you didn't have a SEMA show. The year before.
But they actually lit up because they weren't supposed to do it, but they extended it out, and I was able to stay there for SEMA. And in January they were. But back in the day, the reason why we'd all go there from SEMA and all that, especially because when I was on Pinks and all that crap with all the TV stuff, was every place had clubs and the music and bullshit. And the Hard Rock, before they remember, if you looked at it when you're there, it's way different. It used to have poles hanging down with girls just on them all the time. It was all rock, and it was a circular old style bar. It was like a real bar, not a club. And you know, I'm up there. It's the guys from what is it? Overhaul. I mean, every TV show people. That's where we were the in thing. We'd hang out there, you know, from those guys. But that was like a rock music, a shithole bar, and chicks swinging around on poles. I mean, all right.
Right. Exactly. And if you wanted to hang out with all the NHRA guys, you would go to New York. That's where they all end up staying for some reason.
Oh, really?
I'm like, okay. Yeah.
You know why? You know why?
All the time. Force, Bernstein, all of the guys from Schumacher Racing. They're all at New York.
That's crazy.
I think because of their parking. All the trucks and everything can park over there. Yep. I parked my semi there one year when I hauled for the Discovery. Yep.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Semi.
Yep. Discovery put me in a room at the Bellagio. Man, it was $700 a night.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was no joke.
Discovery's got real money.
Yeah.
I remember 2004 or 2005. I was out there with my drag car, and they had blocked off Las Vegas Boulevard when the Frontera was still there. And if you guys remember back then, there was something called the Installers Challenge. And for 48 hours, a group of us would build 2 cars and compete against each other. I was there for 2004. And in 2005, I went back out there with my drag car, and that was when Nopi was really big. And Nopi paid to have the Installers Challenge build 2 performance cars versus 2 show cars with audio and stuff like that. So 2 big teams from NDRA built 2 cars, and they went out there and they raced. But before they raced, I went out there with my car and did a big burnout right on Las Vegas Boulevard. But I had to take my wife to the airport because my wife was flying home and I drove home. So here I am in 2004 or 5, 3 years after 9/11. I am an Iranian. My last Madavi. Okay, I'm driving to the airport with my trailer with Madavi on the side.
Oh God.
My wife, I am so scared right now taking you to the airport. Thank God you're American because they may take me away forever.
Woo!
To the airport, I drove home from there. I went, Oklahoma City is the midway point between here, Las Vegas and Atlanta. So I was going to go to Oklahoma City and stay there. But dude, everybody that year went to Oklahoma City and stayed there. All the hotels from Oklahoma City all the way to Little Rock, Arkansas were booked. So I booked for hotels for like 4 or 5 hours. I finally stayed at Little Rock, and there was an Amber Alert going on. It was 3 a.m., man. I was scared shitless. I'm scared shitless. You hear a brown guy in the middle of Arkansas. Arkansas is a shithole, by the way.
Yes.
It's a real bad place. You don't go there.
Proud to say I've never been there, but I know about it.
You don't want to go there. It's like top 10. We just went through there last month going to Pryor, Oklahoma. And I said to my wife, I said, we'll just stop somewhere in Oklahoma. That way we're somewhere closer to home. And I mean, in Arkansas, closer to home. We couldn't find anywhere. Everywhere she'd look, top 10 of the worst places you can stay at.
Wow.
So we went a
Well,
little
Arkansas is not better, man. That's like deliverance.
Oh yeah, it's bad. It's really bad.
Another state I'd never be hanging around
Where's
in.
my guitar?
So many fun times, man. So many stories.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this year,
you can tell Oklahoma City's a dump just watch any episode, you know, with the 405 guys, you know, or cops.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And that's where they are, Oklahoma City. And when the camera goes out and runs B-roll, you know, and you look at it and you're like, Jesus, are you kidding me? Who would want to live there?
I was out there 4 months ago. Remember, I went to go look for a Challenger. It was a 70 Challenger mini tub car with a 440 I found that I was going to buy. I flew out there last minute overnight, got out there. The guy had it on a dyno, supposedly makes 800 horsepower, made 450. Turned around, got in the rental car, went back to the airport and left.
Oh God!
And I'm like, terrible. And I look as I'm driving through Oklahoma City. I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking out of here.
Industrial, you got freight train lines running through there with those like 3-4 mile long deals with like, you know, 3 or 4 big giant locos pulling stuff. That's industry city over there.
Now, when you're at a light and the train goes past and you see like 20 engines, you know, you just turn the car off, man.
Trust me, you know, where I am, we get that coming through. We get the Tropicana orange juice train
coming from
comes by. Yeah,
I got Tropicana right down the road.
That thing will be like 150 to 200 cars. They'll put 2 diesel locos up front, and they may stick one in the middle or one on the back end.
Smells
and you
good,
pull up, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. I'm like, come on. Nobody could drink that much orange juice. I'm sorry. You know?
Yeah, there's not. Hey, Sam, there's not enough vodka in the world to do that.
I like orange juice. I
do too. I love it, but you know,
my backyard, man. You know, got the train.
Gentlemen, it's time for me to leave.
All right.
I appreciate everything, Lewis. Thank you for having me on. Sam, I'll see you next? I'm coming in.
Yeah, Friday. I'll be there Thursday night.
I'm gonna fly
today.
What now?
It changed today. The producer called me today. We added an episode, so we added a day. I'll be there Thursday night.
Oh, so I'm flying in Thursday to Nashville. My buddy Art's picking me up. We're gonna go back to his place, load his Jeep up, and then we're gonna head there first thing in the morning on Friday.
Perfect. I'll be there.
Hey, you guys need to fly me in for security.
Hey,
this guy.
There you go.
Hey, you know, you never know. Something might pop off. You know,
that's true.
That's it.
Let me go into gun safe. I'll just take what I got.
There you go.
But yeah, so gentlemen, thank you so much for having me tonight. I appreciate it. Let me flap my gums. Lewis, thanks for letting me tell everybody in the world that they own this crazy brand.
Hey, totally awesome.
Anytime, Brian. Anytime you want to come on, bro.
My new neighbor over here in Florida. We'll see you in North Carolina, everybody. You guys have a great night. I'll see you soon, okay?
I'll get you info from Lewis, and I'll give you a buzz.
Sounds great, guys. Have a good night, gentlemen.
All right, Brian.
All right, Brian.
Thanks.
Boss won.
When we kick you, there you go. So, Sam, you're going up there Thursday, you said, right?
Yeah, Thursday. I was supposed to go out there Friday, but we changed it to Thursday. So it's a big show, man. It's huge. Unbelievable. Every Jeep in the country comes to this town. It's amazing.
Really?
Cool.
Over 10,000 Jeeps entered, and spectator-wise, when you go to the spectator parking lot, every single car is a Jeep in the parking lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Absolutely.
So
amazing.
basically, you're going to see everything from like Fantasy Island, pink and white stripes to monster trucks.
You know what's funny,
all
man?
Jeeps.
And I guarantee there'll be a bunch of LS installs in there. Yeah.
There's got to be some LS installs.
There's going to be tons of LS installs, man.
Whole bunch of LS swaps on the Jeeps.
Love them.
Yeah.
Way more than Hemi swaps.
That's a great swap for a Jeep. You know, you get like a CJ, a 5, a 7 or something. You put an LS in it. That's a perfect fit.
All day long, man.
I haven't liked those. I haven't liked those old Wagoneers, like those like 80 Wagoneers. You know,
right? With no power, nothing in them, crank windows, the whole deal.
Those Wagoneers are worth so much money. They're
up there with C10s, man.
You
can't touch them.
Yeah,
I was at my Chrysler dealership the other day, and in the parking lot out front was a Grand Wagoneer with Michigan tags on it. and it was
Shit.
we're talking something secretive.
Wow.
On a big, I mean, it was bigger. It was as big as a Suburban Denali.
Get out of here.
Wow.
It had like it looked like a 32-inch screen across the dash of this thing.
Wow.
Wow.
Dude.
That's
But
cool.
it had
Those things
Michigan
are-
tags on it.
Those things have always been big up in the Hamptons. I had a couple customers that would buy them, restore them, and sell them up in the Hamptons.
Yeah.
This
But
was
it was
back
a newer
Hamptons is
version.
loaded with foo-foo stuff.
Yeah.
And I also at the Chrysler Jeep dealership, they had it was a Jeep and it had 4xe on it, and it was a hybrid.
Oh yeah.
That's going to happen everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a 4-cylinder turbo hybrid.
Yep.
Jeep. It was like a year ago. That was the JL. When the JL
Yeah.
came out, one of the options was a 4-cylinder turbo hybrid.
It was white and it had like that electric blue stripe in it, and the lettering was like 4xe, and it had like black leather interior with neon blue stitching in it.
Really?
Kind of crazy, but it was like the first one I've seen hanging out.
They're very rare. You don't see very many of them. Now that the 392 Hemi has come out, that's going to be a huge deal because it's only like a $4,000 option at the dealership, but it's a big deal because aftermarket wise, to put a Hemi in your Jeep is like $30,000+. So the
See,
new Jeep.
that's where I would come and put in a big block with a 1271 blower.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, see you at the gas station.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, who the heck knows? Once China takes over all the mineral reserves in Afghanistan, you ain't gonna have electric cars.
Hopefully, because the
They have one of the,
cars,
they have one of the
they really
biggest
wanna take over.
reserves of what is the stuff you got to use to make the batteries.
Lithium ion.
They've got one of the hugest reserves. Everybody's flipping out that we're walking away, and China's going to move in on that stuff.
Wow.
Make the Taliban very rich.
Taliban is already supposedly rich from all the oil they get from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It's
a whole
big
nother
giant
thing.
show out there. Big
Yeah,
giant.
so let's cut our oil production down here in America to buy from them, and then sooner or later we're not going to be able to get anything from them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
I
even
think
get me
batteries-
started.
Hopefully the batteries will, like you said, in Afghanistan, it will stop the electric car movement because the electric cars, they really want to take over the gas combustion cars. But you know what? When electric cars come in full force, I think the market and the hobby is going to get bigger. Because
I
what
feel
you
the same way.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I think because, like, you know, if they're there's gonna be abundance of gas.
Well, you're always attracted
Possibly.
to what you can't have.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's going to make it bigger. It's going to make us more powerful as gas combustion technicians, you know?
Yeah,
But so
that makes
here's my question. So they're gonna give up gas for electricity. So now we're gonna have a problem with electricity. So when power go out, you can't charge your car up.
Well, see,
Just
because the problem is Washington doesn't know how to think clearly. Okay, you want to switch to electric because you're complaining about global warming and all this other stuff. Okay, so we want to move to electricity, but it takes so much carbon to mine the minerals to make the batteries, but nobody bothers to tell you that in the press, that it actually uses up more carbon in the air to build electric stuff.
Yeah.
And our grid can't handle it. We don't have the power plants because we never bothered to figure out how to make clean, safe nuclear power. We have submarines that don't come back to get worked on for 10 years.
Yeah.
Nuclear-powered subs. The government has that stuff. The military has it. Why can't we scale it up and build nuclear plants around the country and get real electricity at a really good rate and put the money into the grid? Now you want to get into electric cars? Great. You could put a charging station next to every single effing Starbucks across the country.
Yeah.
You'd be able to do it. But if you don't have the basis to do this, you can't do it. But, you know, DC's going to push this stuff on us, even though we're not ready.
Well,
It's
it's
a
an
joke. It's an absolute joke.
It's a money thing. The
All
people
the
in
money.
Washington are getting paid to
It's
do
all
what
right.
they're doing.
Yeah.
That's it, exactly. And then they want to put, I read about there's like on page 506 of this bill, there's a thing about throwing a mileage tax on every one of us
That's right.
for driving. Oh, you know, we're not going to get that fuel tax anymore because we're going to go electric. So you assholes that still put gas in your car, you're going to pay for all of this.
Yep.
You know, I don't know. I keep wishing that something will happen and they'll all be
What needs to happen-
eviscerated so
People
we
need
could
to
start
get
over.
A
You
bunch
know?
of people need to get their asses kicked.
That's why I'm like legalize
It's
beatdowns.
true. But you know
should
what?
legalize beatdowns. If you
we're
got a
the
legitimate
ones-
right, you should get.
We're the ones that
Legalize
see through the clouds. We see the bullshit and we know what's going on. But there's so many people in this country that are in a fog. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They believe the shit that they hear on CNN and ABC and NBC, and that's gospel. They don't do any kind of research. And when somebody like us comes and tells them what the truth is, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
You must like Trump.
I
You know, everything's Trump's fault still. It's how are you going to change these people?
It's bullshit.
You know,
They're completely warped.
They start teaching this bullshit to these kids in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, now this has been 30 years, so now those kids are now running stuff, and
Yeah.
that's where the problem is.
Exactly.
They've been taught for 30 years to think stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't learn from history. They want to erase history. Oh, I'm offended by that bronze statue.
Well, in
This
my
guy had a slave. Well, you know what? That's your history. Learn from it. Don't repeat it.
Exactly.
Done deal.
In
They
my
don't
town,
teach that.
Atlanta, there's a big giant cemetery from the late 1800s called the Oakland Cemetery, and there's a statue of a lion in the cemetery. It's a lion, right? And I didn't know anything about that. I was watching the news, and they've been vandalizing this lion over and over again. They're getting sick of having to deal with the vandals, so they're going to take down the statue. It's a lion. I don't know what it represents, but it's going to cost $30,000 to take down the statue of a lion.
Wow.
That's in a graveyard that's fenced off. That's over 100 years old. What are you doing in the graveyard at night, messing with the lion? You know what
Right.
what are you guys doing?
Idiots.
It's crazy, man.
Speaking of lions, I've noticed you bought 2 lions for your yard. Hey, I need some of them.
You liked those, didn't you? I was grateful, man. There was an antique store there.
Oh, yeah?
Truck. One of the guys had a truck, and they were going back home to Atlanta. I'm like, you know what? Let's get these lions. One, we patronize the town, and we bring something home that's not local. So
That's
I got
good.
it the front door and the front porch.
That's great.
One day I was going to I was out in Ohio. I was traveling out in the country part, and I was going to pick up a motor for one of my trucks. And I seen this lion, man. It was big as a semi truck
Wow.
at the end of this guy's driveway. And his driveway was so big, he had another one on the other side. And they were, I'm telling you, they were huge. And I took a picture of it, and I was like, I was sitting home to my wife. I was like, babe, we got to get these. She was like, you're not getting a little lion. You're not getting a big lion. And then I seen you post yours. I was like, oh, man, see? Sam got one.
I think your wife's cool enough to she'll let you have a lion now.
You can put one on top of your bus.
I might sneak one in.
Hey, he's on the bus right now, Terry.
That bus is going to be hot. I like that.
Yeah,
I'm trying, man. It's a lot of work, man. I'm trying.
I know. I see you. You know, I can't wait for you to bring that around. Like I said, yo, I got plenty of room. Pull that right in front of my house.
Hey, I'm visiting everybody. I'm pulling
Come
up in your
on down.
driveway. And you know, brother got to park on the grass. So I'm going to park on your grass, everything.
Got plenty of room. Let's do it. You know?
Louis, you are on the cusp because, like I said, I couldn't get pictures, but everywhere I turned, I must have seen 5 or 6 converted buses down in the Carolinas.
Nice.
And one of them, a guy just made a coffee truck out of it. You go in, you sit, you have coffee. But I saw guys living in them, guys just driving them,
Yeah.
and none of them were yellow. Everybody painted them a different color.
There you go.
So you're definitely on the cutting edge.
Up on the front, where they got like that plastic sign which would say school bus.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put S apostrophe cool.
Right,
bus.
right.
The school bus.
But nobody.
I have to find. I have an artist's rendering. I had a guy that came to me that wanted to build an exhibition drag car out of a school bus. So it was going to be a blower car, like a blower pro mod. And we never got around to building it. He never got the funding, but we had a local artist do a drawing of what it would look like. And it was a short bus, and it was I think it was a GMC or an International Harvester nose. And there was a place right around the block from my chassis shop that actually built those noses, and we were going to do that and put a big blower motor in it. It was going to be a blown Hemi, zoomies, the whole deal. And we were going to have to have the little sign that comes out with the red flashing lights.
Right.
Yeah.
It was going to be fiberglass. We had a guy that was going to do fiberglass for us. We were going to make fiberglass panels and then put those rub rails on the outside.
Right.
Do the curved roof, the whole thing, man. It was going to be a monster.
That was like the Hot Wheels school bus dragster.
Probably very similar to that.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah. I'll have to find the artwork and I'll scan it and then post it in there. It was called the school bus. It was awesome.
This has got two S school.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
Yeah. 2S, too cool. Right. Yep. So ours was just going to be S apostrophe cool bus.
There's somebody on eBay made this guy right here. Look at that.
Wow.
Filled it up with some Hot Wheels, but it's that you can put on the wall. I got some more to fill in.
That's great, and they just drop right in.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, they just drop.
That's really nice.
That's pretty cool.
I don't. It's on the other side here. Well, it's behind, but I've got about 10,000.
Holy crap!
And these were just picked up. This is a Mach 1 Volkswagen Rabbit on Hot.
Wow,
dude,
that's so cool, dude.
And then this is another new one here. That's a Chevelle convertible.
Oh, nice.
That's
That
cool.
looks like a 71. That's 71.
That is a 71. Yep.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all you gotta do, Sam, is just buy some tools from Brian. He'll usually just send you some cars because he just puts them in as like little
That's
gifts.
right.
He's got like doubles and
Right.
triples and stuff.
Ray got the JK, right? I mean,
That's the FJ, yeah.
FJ.
I tell you what. On that note, we're gonna leave on a high note. I have to hang up because I have to get my little boy in bed. But listen,
All right, Terry.
Busting out. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Terry.
Robbie, always beautiful seeing you. Ray, Mac, what's up? My man,
All right,
John. Yo, Lewis.
Good.
Yo, we'll catch up.
All
All
right.
right,
Got
guys.
it.
Peasy.
Peace out, Terry.
See you, man.
Later, fellas.
All right, B.
Busting out schoolie. That's cool. That looks good.
Yeah.
And we're going with that purple. We're going with the what's that eggplant purple?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna fade it
That looks like a Baltimore Raven color.
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, I'm gonna fade it
Yeah.
fade it to white. As it goes up, I'm
yeah.
gonna fade it to white. So
Awesome.
I'm gonna try my skills on it. It's a long bus. I'm gonna have to run down the whole side to get it to fade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta send it out to California.
I was gonna call Shorty
So,
from Iron Resurrection and have him come through and throw some stripes on the roof.
Shorty
Hey,
would
is-
be cool,
Is
or
Shorty supposed
what's
to
his
get
name?
own-
What'd you say, Sam?
Isn't Shorty supposed to be getting his own TV show?
I think
I heard
so.
that.
He's
I
been
heard
working on
that.
some stuff.
Spin-off.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be coming out soon. Because I just saw an episode of Iron Resurrection, and Shorty was sort of like a guest on this show. He wasn't
Oh, yeah?
in the show, but he was like sort of a guest in the show. So they're trying to get it set up for the spinoff.
I tell you what, man, he's a heck of a painter. Woo.
Oh,
Yes, he's awesome.
he's very good.
A couple years.
I like that other guy, Pampa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Hey, I was watching because I had like 4 or 5 episodes on the DVR. So I was watching an episode the other night, and Amanda had a pair of low-rise jeans on,
No fooling.
and she was wearing a short kind of top, and
Wow.
I saw the top of a little private tattoo there.
Wow.
Sneaking out every now and then, and I'm like, whoa, look at this. She got a little ink. Yeah.
Hey, John, that's creepy, right?
I know. Hey, dude, it was on TV. It was there right in your face. What are you going to do? You couldn't miss it. You could not miss it. I was like, check that out.
Hey, I'll tell you what,
Funny.
we're going to have a good time at SEMA this year, as long as they have it, because everybody's going to meet up. The Martins, everybody.
Did you say as long as they have it?
Yeah, because
Well, if this COVID thing doesn't calm down.
yeah, it's getting scary.
I know. It really. I've heard also that they're going to be possibly. It's a possibility. So,
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact this past weekend was a trade show that I had been to for my company called Super Zoo. It's a giant pet industry trade show, and it's at the Mandalay Bay every year, and it was packed. So in the midst of what's going on, they had that show going.
I don't know if it's just because of the proximity to Washington, but we spent a night in Virginia. I hate that state. And everybody's wearing masks in stores, out of stores. It's like, and they're loving it. And I'm like, let's get the hell out of here.
Well,
Saturday.
SEMA already made the announcement. You're going to get your temperature taken going into any of the convention buildings, and you got to wear a mask. They already made that announcement. If you're coming to SEMA 2021, make sure you got a mask.
Dude, that's gonna suck.
Last Saturday, they brought that up, Ray. Anything indoor, if you've been vaccinated or not, it didn't matter. You had to wear a mask.
Yeah, it's their it's their sandbox.
It's tough up here, man.
Yeah, we ended up coming back on the Eastern Road up 95 on the way home, and
Brian,
I tell you, I was going to send you a text because we're coming through, Maryland. And I was like, I should just text Brian and see if he's anywhere near 95.
95, I run right by.
I know. And my wife said, maybe you should. And I said, he's working. I don't want to bother him.
I almost texted you. I told you if you're coming back 95 because
then I would have done it because we did. We came up that way.
You got from when you get to Rockville, you're a little further. Well, that's 495, but 95 through Silver Spring. If you saw a Silver Spring exit, that's all me, man.
Okay.
You were 20 minutes from me.
I took a picture. I did see in North Carolina there was a McKinney. There was a town. It's like I take pictures when I drive. I'm there with the camera. My wife's, what are you doing? Don't worry about it. I'm okay. I'll send you that picture. But when we came back over through Baltimore, what's with the scrap yards, man? Fucking mountains of scrap.
Yep.
Jesus. And then on the other side, just like seas of brand new cars.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
computer chips.
I guess.
Yeah, look, let me tell you, when I was coming back from Alabama through Kentucky, you know where the speedway is in Kentucky?
Yeah.
They have all the Fords parked there. I seen it on the news about 2 months ago that all the Fords were there with no chips. And I look over and I'm like, babe, look at all them Fords over there. They were everywhere. It was like a sea of Fords.
Right.
They got Martinsville. They got like 3 different tracks filled.
Wow.
Yeah. Fords sitting there.
Yeah. So
that's got to be killing their profit.
Think about what happened when they get those chips, and then those trucks are now a year and a half old.
Right.
Yeah. What are they going to do?
Fire sale. And
sell them to companies that are fleets.
Well, I'll tell you something. the national car of North Carolina is a Challenger because everybody's driving Challengers. Challengers are pickup trucks all over the place. Yeah, they love them down there.
The Fast and Furious.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how they're going to get around that with being a year old.
Here.
Right.
I don't know.
Because they can't change the title; it's already titled.
No, I mean it gets sold
it's
as a new. It gets sold as a new untitled vehicle. It's just like if you have a demo on a lot, it's still a new vehicle.
But it has a year on it, though, don't it?
But you can't change that. But I'm saying if they don't change the style, it's going to look like the one that comes after it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
People will buy.
They'll have to sell them at a reduced price as a leftover.
Yeah,
Hey,
trust me, they'll make money.
They will. They will.
Maybe they'll sell them at the real price because right now
Right.
everything's double.
Right.
Everything's
That's-
double.
That's like when they first came out with the DEF and the trucks. The people that make our tool trucks, they had gotten like 75 frames, just the frames, and they put a VIN number on them. And they weren't built yet, but they were all pre-DEF vehicles. So when they built them, they were newer vehicles, but they didn't have the DEF because they had that VIN number because they were just an earlier version or earlier. And that's the same thing with those trucks. They still sold them as new. It's just that they had already had a VIN number on them, and they didn't have to apply to the DEF
System. Yeah.
system.
How's
Crazy.
GM doing it? Because
GM's
GM's selling, Chevy's selling stuff, GMC.
Chevy's got trucks.
Yeah.
They still got the
But they
same
actually
lot.
reported that they stopped making trucks because they didn't have the chips.
They ran out of shit.
When they ran out, they did not build like what Ford did. They just stopped. They closed for something like it's been closed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you go by I have a huge Chevy dealer, like 2 miles away from me. They're like the biggest Chevrolet dealer in Florida, Stingray Chevrolet. The lot is packed with new Corvettes. Yeah, new Corvettes, Camaros, pickup trucks, vans. You know, the whole deal. Yet they keep sending me notices. They want my 2018 250 Chevy van, 2500 Chevy van. We'll give you $22,000. Trade it in, get a new van. We've got them on the lot. And I'm like, no thanks.
I'll tell you, my buddy at work did that. He had a 2018 or 19 Silverado. They bought it back for more than it was worth. And then he bought a new one and made a deal, and he made like $4,000 and got a brand new truck.
I'm not in that position with my loan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would.
Wait,
what they're offering me is like a little less than what I actually owe.
Okay.
You know, and then I would be just starting out over again. And I'm like,
so just tell him, look, give me more.
Sam, what were you going to say?
It's not a buyer's market for sure. That's a good deal, Ray. Anyone
it was.
Can buy a new car for $4,000 and trade their car in. Right now, it's a definite seller's market. It's not a buyer's market, and the dollar seems as if it's not worth anything because everything is double in price.
Right.
We're talking used cars. A regular used car is literally double in price. And what's going to happen is these people who are buying cars right now, in about 2 or 3 years, they're going to be in a bad place. They're going to be upside down on their loans. And same thing with the boats. I live in a lake house, and the boat places around me didn't sell a boat for 1.5 years. When COVID hit, they have turned their inventory 3 times. And this is like a Lamborghini dealership of boats, Supras, Mombas, all these $150,000+ boats that people who have no idea about a boat are buying. And what's going to happen in 2 or 3, 4 years when they start to have to maintain these boats, they're going to really be in a buyer's remorse because these boats are inflated. Everything that's being purchased right now is going to be, especially if you got a loan on it, it's going to be inflated. So in 3 or 4 years from now, a lot of people are going to be upside down, big time.
Like this show? Want more? Then head to WatchPTTV.com, the new 100% free PowerTube TV streaming network. Home of the best classic and new motorsports racing and build shows on the web.